Loibner-Waitkus.
You've probably guessed from these videos that as far as professors go, I'm pretty laid back and relaxed, and I'm the same way when I'm teaching on-campus classes. But one of the things that will make me have meltdowns and start screaming at students is when we've read a short story or a novel or a play or a poem or an essay or something, and the whole class is kind of, whining because nobody understood it and it didn't make any sense. And then I'll say, for instance, with Annie Dillard's Living Like Weasels, which y'all will read, she uses the term terra firma, and I will say, someone to tell me what terra firma means. And no one in the classroom can answer that, which all means they've read the essay, seen that term, and not bothered to look it up. And then you wonder, why didn't you understand the story when you didn't understand half the words you read and didn't bother to look them up? And so rather than yell and scream anymore, I've decided with my on-campus classes to create sort of and they'll be tested over these, but to create a vocabulary list of the more obscure words or less known words. And not just words, sometimes it may be a person or a disease. Well, disease is a word, but something that that students need to know to understand what they're reading. And so what I did was created a set of Quizlet flashcards that there's a link to under the flashcard tab in your class, and this is a good place to go and look through those words. And there's a variety of methods. You can look at, first it'll have the term, and then underneath it'll say from which story it came. Now keep in mind that I'm sort of combining, there's a lot of crossover between my Comp 2 and American Lit class. I teach a lot of the same stories in there, but they do a couple of ones you don't, and you of course do a lot more than they do. But so there may be some references to works in there that we didn't do in this class, but it's not going to hurt you to learn the word. Anyway, so I've done that to make it easy, and Quizlet's a great source because you can look at, you can set it up like flashcards, so you're looking at the definition and from what story it's in, and then click on it, flip over, and you get the definition. You can make it so that the definition and term are both on the same side of the flashcard. There is a scatter option, which is kind of a fun game to go through and match it. And then there's a test that you can take, and it's actually set up so that I could give you a grade on it or whatever, which I won't. As far as, y'all are concerned, the important thing here is you may just want to look at it to help you, and it will keep you from having to look them up later when you're reading the short stories, essays, poems, or the novel. Just be warned, though, I will probably, even though since it's an online class, you could just go there and immediately look at it. I may throw some of these words in on the midterm just to make sure you're doing that. I'm not going to try to trick you, and again, you've got a ton of time on these exams in class, so I'm not stupid. I know you could Google what the word meant, so there's not going to be any of that kind of stuff, but I may toss a word in there just to throw you and see that. And so again, like I said, you'll see the word and from what it comes. And an example is cuckold, which is used actually in one of the ones we've read so far. And that's a term that's used all the time in literature, cuckold, and it means a man whose wife has cheated on him. Or it can be a verb as well, which means if you cuckold someone, it means you've been cheated on by a woman. It's always a man is a cuckold and a man is cuckolded. Women can't be cuckolded for whatever reason. It doesn't apply there. So that's on there. And then there is one term right now, and there may be more as we go along, that we not necessarily have seen in a story, but I think that you need to know. The one I've got now is fortnight, which means 2 weeks. It's used a lot in literature, specifically in British lit, but students will see that word and figure from context it means a period of time, but most people think it means one night, and it actually means, anybody know? 2 weeks. So go through those, look through those, and the list will grow as the semester goes. Basically, every time I reread something to teach it, I'm adding a list and giving you all that opportunity. So, you want a big vocabulary, and you want to be able to understand what you read, and so this is a way to do that.